Hello everybody, Animation Trainer here, and today we're gonna talk about Brave. So Brave is another film that Pixar made during their dark ages, which, honestly, they're still in it. Because recently, the only real films that actually, were really good, 9 out of 10 quality, recently were Inside Out and Finding Dory. And Finding Dory obviously would have made it, but Inside Out was more of a once in a time thing in terms of this era. I'm not saying that all the films were bad, they just weren't Pixar good. Okay, Good Dinosaur did a good job too, but it just didn't do as good as most Pixar films. And Brave is in that category. Well, not Good Dinosaur category, but it is still in the Dark Ages territory. One of the problems with Brave is that it tries too much to be Brother Bear, where it talks about how people are being turned into bears and stuff through this, due to the power of a wisp or something thing. And some of the characters are a little bland as well, like Mordu. While I'm not gonna say that he's not as bad as the plot twist villain in Cars 2 and Otto, this Mordu is my third least favorite Pixar villain. And I'm not saying that Mordu is a bad villain. I just mean that, he has an interesting backstory. I just mean that he didn't do much at all. He's only in 3 scenes in the entire movie. And that's it. Especially considering that he's like the villain of the entire film. And then there's the witch, and like Mordu, she barely appears at all, and in fact, she's only in 1 scene. 2 if you count the scene where she's 2 if you count the screen sheet spot, with the spell, which is barely much at all. Then there's also well, I guess those are all the bad characters, but more with the bland characters, but with the story, since it tries to be Brother Bear, you could tell that it's pretty predictable. Yeah, it's still one of the weaker Pixar films. In fact, it is one of the weaker ones. But I will say this, even though the story isn't that good, and some of the characters are bland, you gotta admit it, the animation is gorgeous here. With all the magic and all the backgrounds and stuff. You gotta admit that it looks pretty good. But this movie, just wasn't that, really that good, in my opinion. When I came out of the theaters, I thought that this was a Walt Disney film. I didn't even know that it was Pixar. I didn't recognize it. It just didn't feel Pixar. Pixar doesn't really make princess films, too. Merida is the only Pixar princess. Yeah, only Pixar princess. And then I will say that there are a couple cool scenes, like the archery scenes and stuff, do look nice. And I will say that I did laugh a couple times. It's Merida's family is kind of funny. And I do like the mother-daughter relationship in the movie. Overall, this movie is flawed, but at least you could get a little bit of enjoyment. Well, yeah, you could still enjoy the film, even though it is pretty flawed. I wouldn't say it's as bad as Cars 2, but this movie does need to improve. So overall, I give it a 7 out of 10. I used to consider this the worst Pixar movie, but I realized that I only thought of that because I just wanted to defend Cars 2, but honestly, I never really defended this film at all. And yeah, I do agree that this deserves a 7 out of 10. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time in the last review. I'm sorry, but this movie's brave. I'm sorry, but I'm a lot braver than this movie. Clint Barton. They also call me Hawkeye.